with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Roll call.
Holt.
Here.
Nikki.
Here.
Sarah.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Hensley. Bradford.
Here.
Tatum.
Here.
Lemming.
Here.
Bass.
Okay, on the agenda, we have a couple of ordinances that we will entertain that have shown up at the last minute, which is just fine. We'll entertain those when we get there. I don't believe we have anyone that wants to approach the court tonight that isn't already on the agenda. So I guess we'll just take a voice vote. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So be it.
Second.
We have a motion by Holt, second by Lemmings to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Fantastic. You had emailed to you a copy of the minutes of the last meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Phillips to approve, second by Tatum to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor of accepting the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You have before you a treasurer's report. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the written.
Second.
We have a motion by Tatum, second by Nikki Brown to accept the treasurer's report. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You had emailed to you a copy of the appropriations analysis. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Holt to approve the appropriations analysis, a second by Phillips. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The County Road and Equipment Report work continues on the large grant-funded projects on Archie Road and Peyton Mountain Road. Work has been completed on some soft spot areas and spot filling on Happy Road, County Line Road, Green Tree, Wilderness, Strassner, Dawn, Flint, Foster Cemetery, Flora, Claude Schoolhouse Road, and Pleasant Grove Loop. In addition to the Formosa Quarry and the North Quarry, we have now opened the South Quarry. This is off Highway 356 toward Fairbanks and was previously the KT Rock Quarry used to service gas pad construction. This will enable us to gather fill material much closer to each individual work site, which improves productivity and saves on trucking and fuel. Finished product will continue to be sourced from the Formosa Quarry due to the high quality of product being produced there. Base material used for building up roads will come from the quarry closest to the road being serviced. The total of rock and gravel which has been produced and distributed in 2020 so far is about 120,000 tons, which is as much as was distributed at the peak of the gas boom. The cost of producing our own rocks, with all costs included, which is blasting, property leases, equipment payments, fuel repairs, payroll, and upkeep, was $3.56 per ton. The approximate price of the product that we have used this year would have been over $1.2 million per the rate sheet attached. Work is still scheduled for Pinewood Road and Rumley Road, and we are in the process of acquiring grants for road improvements for next year, as well as planning road improvement projects. The Archie Bridge will be a very time-consuming project in itself next year. Any questions on the County Road and Equipment Report? I have some judges' comments I'd like to go over. We have completed a lot of work at the annex this year. The new HVAC system is being installed now, and this room is the first one to be installed. And I'm very pleased with how it's operating and how quiet it is. And this is going to be great for us, so thank you guys for approving that purchase. Veteran Services is being moved to a location which is easier to access and is larger. They will be in the north annex down the hall behind in the building behind the revenue office. The office will be larger, we'll have new carpeting, and a new restroom for the veterans' use. Separate from the Veterans Service Office will be a waiting room. Currently, those waiting are crammed into a tight hallway down this annex hallway. The office is extremely small, and our veterans deserve better, and we're providing that for them. I'm very, very happy about that. We moved the Literacy Council to a much larger and conducive space. Children's Advocacy Alliance is here. Their wing of the annex was given a much-needed facelift. More improvements are planned for 2021 with laminate hardwood flooring to cover the main hallway. The tile flooring in the main annex building, which is this building, is scheduled for stripping and re-waxing after the new HVAC units are installed, and that's going to be conducted by inmates. They're going to do that work for us. The new server will be installed later this month, and the installers are working to minimize any disruption in service. We are seeking grants to help renovate the west wing of the North Annex. The goal is to have a larger courtroom, which is ADA friendly. Lots of work has been completed on the county's property with $0 budget increase in maintenance, which of course excludes the HVAC system. This has been a challenging year, to say the least. I want to take a minute to speak directly to you, the Quorum Court. You have led the community in a manner to which we have not merely survived, but we have thrived. You have made tough calls and have proven yourselves, all of you, as worthy leaders. You have embraced a commitment to fiscal responsibility, to streamlining, and to efficiency within the government, and to giving more than lip service to your responsibility to the citizens of Van Buren County. You have put your people first, yourselves last, and you have given embodiment to servant leadership. On behalf of Van Buren County, I would like to give the Quorum Court a very warm and hearty thank you. To the other elected officials of Van Buren County, you have also faced a tough and burdensome year. You not only endured a pandemic along with everyone else in society, but you endured a great deal of fallout from it. You too have faced your challenges with utmost dignity. When the going got tough, you got even tougher. Because of your frugalness, your willingness to work together as a true team, and your effort to place the county above politics and above self, Van Buren County will enter 2021 in the best financial shape that we have seen in many years. On behalf of Van Buren County, I would like to give our elected officials a very warm and hearty thank you. I look forward to 2021 with great optimism. Vaccines for COVID-19 have already made it to Van Buren County, and more are expected before year end. We have been blessed with the means of paying off the library according to its original payoff agreement. We just might even have a small business or two to announce soon. May God continue to bless Van Buren County in the year ahead. And I think y'all need to give yourselves a round of applause because you deserve it. Next up is the sheriff's report. You all have a copy of that. Do you have any questions for Lucas? Or Lucas, do you have anything you wish to address the court with?
One praise, Judge. I won't keep us long because I know we got a lot of things to do tonight, but last Tuesday night, we distributed the toys, I say the toys, I'm sorry, the gifts and things for Shop with a Cop for 50 kids in our county. We had to change it up a little bit. We had a drive-through service instead of everybody going to Walmart so that we could socially distance with numerous agencies there. I see a couple of them here tonight with one of our JPs with Kevin Fish, but we changed it up and we made it a drive-through. So all of our volunteers and our helpers, they worked really hard to coordinate names and number coordination so that when they drove through, we could get names, call out the number, they pulled up, we could all socially distance and get their gifts to them. So that was one very big praise that Van Buren County should be proud of. And we give 50 plus children a great Christmas this year in Van Buren County. So to all the volunteers and people that help for that, I greatly appreciate it. And I know that our board that deals with Shop at the Cop, they very greatly appreciate it. So thank you all very much. Other than that, if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Thanks,
Thank
Lance.
you.
Yeah. Elected officials, do you have anything to address the court with? Court, do you have any questions for any elected officials that are here? Awesome. We will move right along to new business. Our first ordinance is sponsored by Justice Lemons.
Be enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, the State of Arkansas, appropriation ordinance to be entitled, appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance 2019-55, the annual operating budget for 2020, and to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $100,000 into the Fire Department and Rescue Squad Sales Tax Fund, 3410-502-3100. Whereas Van Buren County will be receiving money from the volunteer fire departments and rescue squads sales tax that passed a popular vote in the March 2020 election. And whereas this money needs to be appropriated into the line item listed below, 3410-502-3100, sales tax revenue. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $100,000 be appropriated into 3410-502-3100 sales tax revenue. I don't know what I'm approving, but I approved it right now. I move this approved. Okay.
Move we adopt this ordinance. We have a motion to approve this or accept this ordinance by Justice Lemmings. We have a second by Justice Holt. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2020-38.
Our next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Bradford.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance 2019-55, the annual operating budget for 2020, to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $32,000 into the solid waste department, 3009-700. Whereas monies are needed in solid waste fund to pay out part of November and December bills, and whereas these monies need to be appropriated as follows: $4,000 into 3009-700-2001 general supplies, $5,000 into 3009-700-3009 other professional services, $23,000 into 3009-700 $3,104 landfill tippet fees. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $32,000 be appropriated into the solid waste fund as stated above. I move this ordinance be approved.
Second.
Have a motion to adopt by Bradford, second by Phillips. Discussion. This is money that was made by solid waste. It just needs to be appropriated so we can spend it. We've had a really good year over there this year. If you look at the fund balances, you can see how well that it's done. So, any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2020-39.
Thank you. Next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Hensley. He is absent tonight. Justice Phillips is going to read his ordinance for him.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an emergency ordinance creating the official position of county jail healthcare provider. Whereas the county has contracted with an individual healthcare provider to provide inmate health care in the county detention center. Whereas the county is a member of the Association of Arkansas Counties Risk Management Fund, that's AACRMF, okay, and is covered by the general liability agreement offered by the AACRMF. Whereas, in order for the independent contractor healthcare provider to be entitled to a legal defense under the AACRMF General Liability Agreement for covered claims, there must be an ordinance designating the individual healthcare provider by name. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas. Number 1, position. Crystal McMahon, MSN, APRN, BC, is designated as the county jail health care provider for the purpose of providing the sheriff access to inmate health care as a part of the sheriff's duty to not be deliberately indifferent to the necessary health care needs of jail detainees. Number 2, legal defense available. Legal defense is only available for claims specified by the AACRMF General Liability Agreement in Section 2.2.10, which may be amended from time to time. It is understood that legal defense of a healthcare provider who is an independent contractor of the county does not include indemnification for any finding of liability. The healthcare provider that is an independent contractor of the county is responsible for payment of any judgment arising as a matter defended under the AACRMF General Liability Agreement. Further, this ordinance shall not be construed to create additional obligations on behalf of the county or AACRMF in regards to claims brought against the county jail healthcare provider. Having designated the county jail healthcare provider, the named healthcare provider and their employees may be eligible for legal defense under the AACRMF General Liability Protection Agreement if they each meet the following conditions. A, they shall attend at least one training every calendar year presented by the AACRMF on inmate medical care. B, they shall provide proof of current licensure status. And C, they shall carry and provide proof of their current medical malpractice coverage, which applies to patients in the county jail and to all matters related to the practice of medicine at the county jail. Number 3, medical judgment. The county jail healthcare provider is an independent professional with specialized knowledge who agrees to use his or her medical judgment and to practice medicine in the county jail in the same manner as he or she would practice medicine outside the county jail environment. Number 4, contract for services. The county jail healthcare provider must enter into a written contract for services with the county. A copy of this executed contract shall be attached hereto and marked as Exhibit A. Number 5, emergency clause. The adoption of this ordinance is necessary for a proper and efficient administration of the Van Buren County Jail and for the preservation of the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of Van Buren County, Arkansas. Therefore, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its passage. I move that we accept this.
We have a motion to adopt by Phillips, second by Nikki Brown, to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion?
Can someone explain,
To see why.
is this something that most counties have, or?
This came down from AAC as something that every county needed if they have a designated person to provide health care in the jails, and it's for legal purposes. Is that pretty much correct, Sheriff? And this was written by the Association of Local Governments. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yep.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Fleming.
Yes.
Bass. 2020-40.
Okay, and this one did have an emergency clause on it, and I would like to read into the minutes a voice vote accepting that emergency clause. So do I hear a motion that we accept that?
So moved.
And we have a motion by Tatum, second by Phillips, to accept the emergency clause on that ordinance we just passed. Any discussion on that? All those in favor of accepting the emergency clause on that ordinance signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Our next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Holder.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance being entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance 2019-55, the annual operating budget for 2020, to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $38,213.38 into the additional fuel tax fund 2003-200. Whereas the county has received additional money from the county aid fuel tax, and whereas this money needs to be appropriated into the line item listed below, 2003-200-3009, other professional services blasting. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that section 1, $38,213.38 be appropriated into 2003-200-3009, other professional services blasting. I move that we approve this ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt by Holt, a second by Sarah Brown. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Fleming.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2020-41.
Thank you. Our next ordinance is a very lengthy ordinance. It's sponsored by Justice Tatum. At this time, I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules for the purpose of reading this ordinance by title only.
Motion.
We have a motion by Nikki Brown and a second by Virgil Lemmings to suspend the rules for the purpose of reading the next ordinance by title, this ordinance by title only. Any discussion? Roll call vote for suspension.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Fleming.
Yes.
Bass.
Okay, be enacted by the Quorum Court, Van Buren County, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to establish the annual operating budget for the calendar year of 2021.
Do I hear a motion to
Motion to accept is written.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt this ordinance. A motion was made by Tatum. The second was made by Justice Phillips. Discussion.
Yes, I have a question. I'm looking on page 2. It's 4 of 13. Yeah.
Wait a minute. 4 of 13 or page 2?
Yeah, second page is the
That's
last.
second.
Oh, okay, got it.
4 of 13.
Yeah.
Under election commission. I noticed we've only appropriated for personal services $5,409.69. And for total appropriation, $19,834.69. I'm wondering, did the election commission turn in a budget?
Yeah, they were here for the meetings, yes.
Okay. Who wrote a budget?
I guess they did.
I think it's Philip, yes, I don't know.
They're new. This is a redistricting year. And every 10 years after unless the rules have changed, which I don't believe they have, not according to the book, every year after a census, you have to redistrict. And what that means is all the districts, all the 9 districts have to be within a certain percentage of population. That's why some districts are large, some are very small, but they have to be under that, I think it's 5%, is that not right? Is that right?
I'm unaware of that.
Okay, anyway, it's a very small percentage, they have to be in that percentage of all of them be the same, within that percentage. So, every 10 years after the census, you have to move the lines. We did this in 2010. And that takes the election, let me give you, let me hand out a form on the election.
You came into my office the other day and asked me about the cost for the redistricting, and I have already told you that it was put in voter registration.
That's for that's for Matthew.
It's for redistricting.
They're doing our redistricting for us.
Who they are?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we
They're
discussed
moving
this
the
when
lines?
you were in office.
Of course, it'll be approved by the county, but yes, they
Are they moving the lines? Because this, number 75101 says the County Board of Election Commissioners shall establish the election precincts.
They do it for a lot of other counties.
They will work with the election commissioners, yes,
Okay.
but they're the ones that's gonna be doing the redistricting. And that money is in voter registration.
Okay, yeah, we talked about that. But, okay, if that's covered, that's fine.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. But, I know, I guess the rules have changed. We had to do it in 2010. We were the only county that had the redistricting done by the deadline. And, I guess they changed.
Any other discussion on that?
But my question is, I will do some checking on this, but if that's the case, that's fine. But if the election commission has to go out and work on changing those lines, I don't see how in the world we can get by with $19,000.
Okay.
That was my concern. And I know we've had a lot of trouble with the election commission in the last year, and a lot of words were said. I don't want to see them come in here if they have to do this, and they raked over the coals because they're asking for money.
No, that has already been addressed. This company does a lot of other counties. They have a reputation now of doing those. They do it in a manner that's just very legal. And they work with the Secretary of State's office to do this.
Okay,
So-
okay, that's fine. I
Feel
just
very
didn't want
good.
them to be without.
Sure. Any other discussion on the budget? Roll call vote?
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki, Sarah,
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum,
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2020-42.
We have a couple of ordinances to suspend the rules to entertain. The first one, let's do Sarah Brown's. First of all, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules for the purpose of entertaining the ordinance sponsored by Sarah Brown? So be it.
Second.
We have a motion by Holt, second by Phillips, to suspend the rules for the purpose of entertaining the additional ordinance sponsored by Sarah Brown. Any discussion?
So these just came in late, these two ordinances? Okay.
Roll call vote for suspension.
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
And before she reads this, the reason this is last minute is because we just received the funding for this one.
You want that?
We just received the funding for this one after the packet was made.
I got it.
Justice Brown.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance number 2019-55, the annual operating budget for 2020 to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $35,000 into the various county projects number 1000-804. Whereas Van Buren County has received a CARES Act grant from the state of Arkansas due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and whereas one of the requirements is for the following amounts to be paid to the groups listed below. 1000-804-3101, Van Buren County Senior Citizen for Meals on Wheels, $20,000. 1000-804-3109, Van Buren County Fair Association, $5,000. 1000-804-3110, Ozark Opportunities, $5,000. 1000-804-3114, Van Buren County Food Bank, $5,000. Make a motion to accept as written.
Second.
Let's go ahead and read the rest of the ordinance.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Jumped the gun. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that a total of $35,000 be appropriated into 1000-804 as stated above. I make a motion to accept as written.
Second.
We have a motion by Sarah Brown to adopt, and a second by Ron Tatum. Discussion.
If this is approved, how long does it usually take to get the money to the organizations?
That's a question for Pam.
What?
If this is approved, how long does it usually take to get the money to these organizations? And the reason I say that is if it's approved, I'd like to see it immediately be done right here at Christmas, especially for the food bank and the Citizens for Meals on Wheels right here at Christmas. They could use that money to help for Christmas
We already
dinner.
cut in, right? As soon as we can get them in to sign the contract, we can get them to check it out.
And for the citizens, how is this money divided? Who appropriated, how is it divided, the 20,000, 5,000 amounts?
You guys do that. That's part of our $748,000 CARES Act
Right.
fund. Yes.
I just wanted
Yes.
that to go on record.
Yes, it was, and the governor did specify when the CARES Act money was allocated that he would like to see each county give money to the food banks. And Ozark Opportunities already has the infrastructure for rental assistance, which was one of those areas, as well as Meals on Wheels and county fairs, because they didn't get to have their county fairs this year and they lost all that revenue. So, good question. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt?
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Bradford?
Yes.
Tatum?
Yes.
Fleming? Bass?
Yeah.
2020-43.
This time I'd entertain a motion to suspend the rules again for the purpose of entertaining an additional ordinance sponsored by Esther Bass.
I think there's some questions on that. There are some questions on that.
Well, do you want to run the ordinance?
I think I'll check with the state and then I'll call, we'll run it next month.
Okay, so you're pulling it?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules a final time for the purpose of accepting an additional transfer and to dispense of the audible readings of the transfers.
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion by Phillips, a second by Holt, to suspend the rules for the purpose of accepting an additional transfer and to, not read them all. Dispense with the audible readings. Any discussion? Roll call vote for suspension.
Holt.
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Philip.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Jenny.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve the transfers?
Make a motion to approve transfers?
Second.
It's been a motion by Holt, second by Phillips to approve the transfers. Any discussion? Do I hear a motion, or all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Court, does anyone have any other business before we adjourn our final meeting for 2020? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second.